Welcome to the deep dive. We take a stack of info, dig through it, and pull out the most, well, fascinating, surprising, sometimes just plain bizarre insights for you. And today, we're diving headfirst into something that's really blowing up online. Millions of views. We're talking about the truly wild world of new AI-generated cat videos.
Right. And look, if you're thinking, cute kittens chasing yarn,
Yeah.
you really need to recalibrate fast. These are not your typical pet compilations, not by a long shot.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about AI-generated videos featuring cats, yes. But they've become something else, much more traumatic, sometimes, frankly, unsettling. Less about adorable pets, more like these super condensed, often disturbing little soap opera.
Soap opera cats.
Exactly. Anthropomorphic cats, tangled up in these incredibly melodramatic human plots. This is a strange mix.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. Our mission today is really to get a handle on this weird corner of the internet. We're going to pull out the key insights from the sources we've looked at, explore what these videos are, why they're so, well, strangely addictive, and maybe what their huge popularity tells us about AI, internet culture, maybe even storytelling itself. So yeah, get ready. This should be interesting. So jumping into this world, what was one of the first things that really struck you about these videos? For me, it wasn't just the visuals, it was the sound, surprisingly.
Oh, absolutely. The soundscape it's very distinct, often quite jarring, actually. The source we looked at points out how Billie Eilish's Oscar-winning song, What Was I Made For, has become this, go-to soundtrack. It's everywhere in these.
The Billie Eilish song.
Yeah. And you hear these cats, or, something that sounds vaguely like a cat, sort of meowing the lyrics. It's this haunting, really uncanny effect. Just ramps up the weirdness factor.
And the visuals match that weirdness, I take it. We're not talking standard house cats here.
Oh, not even close. The source calls them AI-generated fantasias, which feels about right. You get everything. Sometimes these cartoonishly fat cats, other times these incredibly buff felines with suspiciously veiny human bodies.
Veiny human bodies on cats.
Yeah, it's striking. Clearly not your standard cat video. They're meant to grab your eye, often in a pretty grotesque way.
You know, what I found really fascinating, beyond just how weird they look, is how they cram so much story into such a short time. Like you said, soap operas, but faster. The source called them nauseatingly quick soap operas. How do they even manage that?
Well, that's where the AI generation really comes into its own, I think. It's all about hyper-condensation. They establish these wild, complex plots incredibly fast. Often the whole thing is under 30 seconds.
Seriously, give us an example.
Yeah, take Mr. Whiskers. Right. He's this cat wearing a little red flannel shirt. He's working, accidentally cuts off his paw. Then he gets fired because, get this, there are signs saying all workers must have 2 arms to work.
Oh, come on. Seriously. Then his wife divorces him. He's trying to rebuild his life. All in, like seconds. But wait, it gets worse. His ex-wife, who's clearly scorned, comes after him later with an axe.
An axe.
An axe. But then she just trips and falls into a puddle, humiliating herself. End scene. It's a lot.
Wow. Okay, the speed and the absurdity of that. Mr. Whiskers, the paw, the axe. It's just wild. What do you think that kind of hyper-condensed drama, even tragedy, says about how we consume stories now? Especially since they get millions of views.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it? How they distill these complex human things, loss, betrayal, revenge, into these tiny, shocking bursts. The source suggests it really tacks into our modern need for instant narrative hits, like narrative fast food for short attention spans.
Narrative fast food. I like that.
Yeah, and there's another great example. This muscly cat, right? Wearing capri pants, no less.
Capri pants?
Uh-huh. A baby falls into shark-infested water. This cat just dives in, pounds a great white to death.
Pounds it to death. Yep, saves the baby, adopts it. And they apparently live happily ever after in a Beverly Hills mansion.
Yeah.
Like you said, each one is neat, kitsch, and nauseatingly quick. And yet, people watch them. Millions of people.
It really feels like these cats are, well, they're almost more human than cat, aren't they? Which brings us to that core thing, the anthropomorphism. They're not just cats, they're sort of people, too.
Absolutely, that's fundamental. We're seeing moggies with rugged, athletic human physiques. And they do human things. They occasionally live in mansions, drive convertibles, and work corporate jobs.
Corporate jobs. Cats.
Apparently. But here's the twist. Despite what the source calls their exquisite set of circumstances and comically immaculate bodies, they face very real, very human problems. They get grief-stricken, sick, or in danger, all while those uncanny pop covers play in the background. It's a really bizarre contrast.
And the situations are pretty grim sometimes. The source lists things like being pushed off ships, snared in house fires, drug-addled, arrested, and bullied. It's definitely not warm and fuzzy.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder, right? What are these videos actually trying to say? If
Yeah.
anything, the source throws out some possibilities. Are they 30-second cautionary tales? Maybe about affluence, betrayal, scandal, and
There's
forgiveness?
something grander.
Could be. It asks, are they Shakespeare by way of Neighbors meets Euripides? Or maybe even like biblical parables for our time?
Hmm.
Which is interesting when you think about those AI Bible stories that are also apparently flooding social media. There might be a connection there.
They really lean into these lurid domestic catastrophes, don't they? That seems to be the hook. Like one example was a useless father accidentally propelling his kitten into a ceiling fan. The source called that one particularly gruesome.
Yikes.
Or a cheating wife paying no heed to her husband's calls. And then there's the story of the gaunt kitten who, after years of being teased, becomes suspiciously jacked. It's like the hero's journey, just, furrier. A really warped version of human drama.
And they can get really dark, really disturbing. There's one mentioned, a cat lady stuck in the antebellum South picking cotton before being lashed by a white cat in overalls.
Wow, okay. That's
Exactly. The source stresses they're sickeningly gaudy, sometimes violent, and always melodramatic.
Yeah.
And it's not just the cats acting human. Even when other AI animals show up like crazed eagles or depraved sharks, the cats somehow keep their human six-packs and two-legged swagger.
That swagger, right. And then there was Luigi Mojani. That story was something else.
Oh, Luigi. Tell us about Luigi.
So his cat grandmother collapses in a grocery store. They get to the hospital. Her health insurance is denied. Standard drama,
Yeah.
right? But then Luigi decides to take on evil corp insurance. He scales the building Mission Impossible style.
No way.
Yeah. Fills the place with catnip gas to knock out the guards, hacks their system, and the video ends with him slipping into the CEO's office, presumably for revenge, but it just says, Part 2 hasn't yet been released.
Huh. A cliffhanger. It's like a full action movie plot, just
Yeah.
crammed into seconds with cats. If we zoom out a bit, this isn't totally out of the blue. The internet's always had a soft spot for cats acting humanish, hasn't it? Thinking way back to things like I Can Has Cheeseburger or Grumpy Cat.
That's true. The anthropomorphic cat isn't new.
Right. So these AI videos, they're maybe not a completely new idea, but they're definitely a new and maybe more extreme evolution of that long-standing thing.
So thinking about that history, where does this leave us? The source asks this really critical question, doesn't it? Are these meow meow videos the final form of the anthropomorphic kitty, or are they merely copycats of history? It feels like we're watching something shift.
I think what's truly remarkable here is how these AI tools are taking these huge, complex human dramas, love, loss, revenge, corporate espionage apparently, and just distilling them, boiling them down into these super short, often shocking but undeniably popular clips. It's a really unique step in digital storytelling. It's pushing the idea of what a story even looks like in this age of, constant, rapid content.
So, for you listening, what does it all mean? What is the huge appeal of these totally bizarre, super melodramatic, sometimes really unsettling AI cat videos? What does that tell us about what we actually want from our entertainment now? Or maybe even about how we understand human stories when everything moves so fast? What kinds of narratives are we willing to get sucked into, especially when they come packaged in such a strange, unexpected, AI-driven format? Something to mull over, perhaps.